Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
So today we are doing questions interracial couples are tired of hearing. We found this on HuffPost and we thought it would be fun.
So this also is going to have cultural differences, I guess, not just interracial questions. So if any of you have had any cultural differences or know of like any cultural differences that you may have like encountered, make sure to comment down below. We want to go ahead and check them out and see what other people have encountered, just like we encounter them.
Yeah. So let's see, starting out, how does your family feel about your partner's race?
So my parents really like Callie. Ever since we first started dating, they were just really cool about it. They really like having her around, and it was a big culture difference for us because, as you may know, I'm Hispanic. So being Latino and bringing in someone that's Caucasian was a little bit different, but they thought it was really cool and they were very supportive.
Yeah, I bond really well with his parents. I think for me being Caucasian, like I tried really hard to relate with his family, and I think they really like that. For me, my family is really accepting of Luis. They always seem to talk highly of him and compliment him, so that's really nice.
They're really, really supporting people. So I guess that's the good thing that we got lucky with. Our families both love us very much, and they're very supportive of our relationship.
The next question is, aren't you worried about the stereotypes?
No. One of the stereotypes for white women, they have great credit score. I mean, I'm cool with that. No, I honestly, I don't really think about the stereotypes. I guess there really isn't much for white women, so no, they don't really bother me.
I think the only stereotype I could think of for Hispanics is that they're poor, which is not true. So I'm not worried about that, especially being in a relationship with Luis for going on 7 years now. He's definitely a hardworking guy, so I don't think I have anything to worry about. The next one is, wouldn't it be easier to just date your own race?
Now, I may cause some heat for this one, but I'd say yes and no. No, because Latin women can be they have attitudes. And they can get really, really bad sometimes. So, I mean, I guess just from witnessing my family and people I know, yeah, I don't really like the whole attitude thing. But other than that, I mean...
So I don't have an attitude?
You really don't. You really don't. I think I lucked out. But...
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll be like, why are you giving me attitude?
But yeah, other than that, no. I mean, I think if I were to do it again, I wouldn't change anything.
So for me, I don't think that it would be any easier. I don't know, when I think of race, like as far as a relationship, I don't think it's really much different other than the cultural differences. But I don't think that necessarily makes it any easier or harder. I think it's just something you grow with.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So the next question is, but think of the children, aren't you worried they will be bullied?
So in today's day and age, you can get bullied for just about anything. That's the way I kind of look at it. So no, I don't think, if hypothetically we did have kids, which we don't plan on, but if we did, yeah, I don't think I would see that being an issue.
Yeah, I think kids these days are bullied, like you said, for anything. You wear wrinkled clothes or something, you get bullied for it. So I really don't think if they were, mixed, that they would be bullied any more or any less.
True, yeah, because I mean, you're either Hispanic or you're white or you're both. Yeah, it wouldn't really make a difference, I don't think.
Next question. Do you only date your own race?
I guess looking back, I've only dated white women. But I've also have been with Callie for in 3 months. It'll be 7 years, like she said. So I'm 23 years old. I almost forgot how old I was. So we started dating when I was 16. So before that, it was just kind of like school fling thing. So it wasn't anything serious. So yeah, I guess the relationships really didn't count.
For me, I obviously have dated a different race. Again, I don't see it as the race. I look at the person. So, next question. Don't you get frustrated not being able to express yourself in your own language? Well, I obviously express myself in my own language.
And so do I, which is primarily English now. I don't really speak a lot of Spanish unless I'm with my family, but my Spanish has been, it's so broken that it's more along the lines of I just pretty much speak English no matter what for the most part.
Or Spanglish?
Yes, I guess a little bit of Spanglish, but yeah, I guess whenever I do get frustrated, I'm still going to speak in English because that's just how I can, I guess, demonstrate my frustration. So.
Next question. Do people stare at you when you go on dates? Yes. Well, not necessarily just dates, but just when we're out in public, we get stared at.
Yes, so I guess that's one of the things that
Heck, even when we're driving, we get stared at.
Yeah, we get that quite a bit. I guess we've noticed it quite a bit. And it's not necessarily like rude stares or anything like that. We just like, people just like stare at us when we walk into a building. Or we walk somewhere and I mean, it's just primarily Caucasian people or white people. We get stared at as being kind of a different couple, I guess.
Another thing is, like, sometimes we feel out of place, especially if we go to different events, like where it's mainly white people and he's with, or it's mainly Hispanics and I'm with. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the biggest like culture differences is going to an event, whether it's a party or something like that or a get together, and we walk in and it's either just Mexicans or white people. We get stared at when you walk into the building or you walk into wherever you're going. And I don't, like I said, it may not be a rude stare. It's just you get looked at, you know.
Yeah. Another thing that I've encountered being in public is how racist people are towards him. So that sucks.
So I guess by that
it is what it is.
Yeah, by that, like, I mean, just like another culture shock is the racial comments that come with, not come with, but that happen. She's been around when some racial comments have been slurred or something like that, and I guess she didn't probably realize how that happens or how that affects people. But yeah, that's another culture shock, I guess, for being an interracial couple.
Question that I get asked a lot is, do you speak Spanish? Usually, like when we're out at like Mexican restaurants or
just out and about. Like if I run into someone that's Hispanic and they see us, this happened to us at the grocery store before. Someone came up and he said, he just started talking to the guy. He looked at her and he hablas español. Like that's the first thing she gets asked when she's with me, for the most part, for new people, I guess.
And I usually just say "sí, poquito,"
even though she really doesn't.
Yes, a little, but
that's all she knows. That's it.
I mean, I can speak Spanish, but my Spanish is terrible. I have the worst white accent anyone could have when it comes to speaking Spanish. So, in other words, I just usually don't try. Because
you understand it pretty well, though.
Yeah, I understand it better than I can speak it. But usually I don't try, like, even if we're at, like, a Mexican restaurant, because a lot of people there understand both or speak, both English and Spanish. So I just choose to speak English. But, like, with his parents and stuff, I try, I say a little bit harder.
You guys have created your own little language.
But yeah, we kind of have our own language.
It's the weirdest thing. It's a mixture of both English and Spanish. It's Spanglish for the most part, but
Yeah.
it's just
but we
it's out there.
understand each other,
Yeah,
so I guess that's good.
You get the point across. So yeah.
So another question is, what are some cultural differences?
I guess for me going into it, there wasn't really any like culture shocks or anything. Our families are similar in their cultural differences. We both come from very family oriented families. So that's I guess that's one nice thing. It wasn't a huge culture shock. So if like they're having an event, for the most part, her whole family's there. If we're having a family event, my whole family's there. You know, it's just we're both very family oriented, and so are our families.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different with events, because okay, Luis invites a friend. Well, that friend's mom and dad and aunts and uncles and cousins all come. So it's definitely a lot bigger parties than my family.
So I guess what she's trying to say by that is, when it comes to parties for us, we don't just have like a little get together. We throw a party. That means, you know, you just bring your whole family with you. You know, bring your grandma, bring your grandpa, bring your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your nieces. Everybody's invited. You know, for like that just could be as simple as like a birthday party. For her, it was, you know, I guess in the Caucasian or white culture. I don't know how you say that the right way. I don't know. Is that how you say it? Whatever. It's mostly just like all your friends invited and your other friends and stuff like that. But for us, it's a little differently.
Yeah, and they definitely have like different traditions when it comes to holidays. For example, they have their 15th birthday party. If you want to say that.
Quinceañera, yeah. So I guess it's just like a big party. It's like a sweet 16, but for our culture. What else?
But at 15.
Yeah, I said it's like a sweet 16, but for our culture, it's 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that was that you haven't followed through is the rosca. So the rosca is pretty much, it's a big round piece of bread, and in that bread there is little plastic babies that you put in it. Whoever is so fortunate to get the piece of bread with the baby in it has to cook a dinner. Callie's gotten it every year. Every year.
Seriously.
And she has never made dinner. She's never followed through. Yeah, I guess that's another one that was pretty culture shocking for you.
Yeah, I guess like with my family, like everyone just brings a dish to pass, kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like whoever got the baby.
Right.
Everybody, yeah.
Oh,
so.
I know, but like, yeah.
But yeah. Alright, so I guess that pretty much sums up our whole video. Make sure you do leave the comments down below if you have run into certain situations. And if you're an interracial couple, just like us, make sure you comment down below some of the things that you guys have encountered or questions that you guys get too. We definitely want to look into definitely want to look at those, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because we will be uploading more often.
And we'll see you next time.